Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends over at Joanne.com. I'm your host, Mikey. Well, you know what? We're moving on to week number 3 this week, and we're almost near the halfway point to be able to make your blanket. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going to happen today, and then we're going to just head on into the studio, get it done, get our homework done, and then we'll be ready for next week as we continue our mystery with you. So if you've been following us over on the Facebook events pages, you know that people are ready and dying to go. In the more information of today's video, you'll find the direct link again to continue your clues. Just simply print it out or download a copy and save it to your device or your computer. So today what we're going to do is that we're going to make our afghan slightly bigger, but it's not really conventional. And again, I've never done anything like this before. So I think it's pretty exciting how we're going to be able to grow this out. I have to tell you, this particular video is the one video that sets your whole blanket off beautifully. I think you're really going to enjoy what it's going to look like at the end of the video. But of course, you know what? The creativity is up to you. Your colors that you chose are going to be really directly related. So in today's particular video, what we're going to do is that we're going to grow out all 4 sides, but not at the same time. That would be too easy. And then we're going to fill them in with mitered squares in order to give it that that most amazing look ever. So without further ado, let's head on into the studio and let's get you started and get you halfway to your blanket. This video has sound alerts added. When you hear this sound, it will be your signal that the segment is finishing up. Press stop and crochet the instructions, and then press play again to continue along in your project. And welcome back to week number 3. We're now inside and we're ready to go. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to take these instructions here. Now there's a lot of words here and you can obviously cross-reference those, but the page number 2 of week number 3 is fabulous. Lots of information here. We can see where we are here in the project. That's grayed out. We can see here by the designer what we're going to be accomplishing today, and we're going to be growing out the afghan in all 4 directions. So without further ado, let me take you to the sample, and then we're going to come back here and then we'll review this chart even more detail. So last week I left you with the center square, and so we've done week number 1 and 2, and now this is week number 3. So what I've done here in advance is that I've done 3 of the sides here because you're going to grow each one of the sides out. So this one has nothing here, and what we're going to do is we're going to build it out straight out, and then we're going to create a corner piece. So here's what it looks like on the other side. So we've just grown it straight out here, and then we created this corner piece just like so. That's part of the project. So it's not an add-on in the sense that you have to sew it on. It's all part of it. So what we're going to be doing today is that we're going to be growing all 4 sides. Now I've just done the 3 sides. I cannot believe how little time it took me to do that, and then I was pretty excited, and then I was kind of concerned about this here being very complicated. Honey, you can do it. Anybody can do it. This is awesome. So let me take you back to the diagram and let's show you what you're going to be getting involved in today. So what we have here is that we have the stitch key. The stitch key is much bigger now because we're adding more and more stitches, as you can see, and there's some stitches here that you see in the stitch key that are not existing yet. It'll be coming up in the future, so you can kind of get a glance on some of the project work that we've done so far as like what is to be expected. So what we're going to be doing is that we can see the grayed out area. This is what is already done, and we're going to build on. So it's showing you what one complete side looks like. This is not a small version in the sense that it's cut down. This, when you count the amount of clusters, will match the project, and there's a total of 13 of those, and then there's 14 and then 13 once again. I have to give you some advice. Make sure that you're honoring those counts as you're going all the way across, so make sure you double check as well. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to build up 1, 2, 3 and the 4th, and then that's it. And then you'll come back to the next side and then build it straight out. I want to show you something here in the corner that I noticed that I think you're gonna be fabulous about. And then once you get all these built out, then you build in the corner just like this, and then we're gonna do a main circle around in order to get it to work all out, and then we're gonna move on to then week number 4 after that. So what I want to point your attention to is where we're going to start today. It's the right side, so it's the project facing up towards you. It's where the surface overlay is, or the surface crochet. So what we're going to do, see how you have a stitch mark or a slip stitch here as we start? It's right in the middle one of the 3. We're going to chain up 4, and we skip the next one, and then we cluster into the next one, chain 1, skip 1, cluster into the next, and we keep doing that all the way across. But interestingly, what happens is, see this other one that comes back and finishes? The other side, when you get to the other side, now I'll prove that to you as well, it ends on the other one. So this one starts right in the middle one of the three. This one ends in the first one of the three. And let me just shift over the work here and let me show you that. Okay, so as you come all the way back around, see it ends on the first one, and the next one then would start right in the corner then to come down this side. And I'm gonna give you another piece of advice that I think would be helpful for you. So here's my advice. Take it or leave it and see what you think. So you're gonna have one color here, and it'll be the blue color if you're following my color exactly, and then you gotta fasten off, and then you gotta bring up the next color, which is the white in my case, and then blue again. Here's the thing, because you gotta fasten off anyway, what I did for the three sides is that I just fastened off here, and then I started another side and did the first row of that one, and then I fastened off that one, and then I did this one over here. And then what I would do if I were you is do all the first rows first, and then fasten off, and then do all the second rows next all the way around, and then come back and do all the third rows. Now the third and the fourth is the same color, so you don't need to fasten off after the third. And the reason why I did it is that it's easier to kind of remember a pattern when you're going in an assembly line kind of idea. How can they make cars faster? Well, it's in an assembly line. Think about it that way. So you know that there's 13 clusters here. You can count those as well. So if you do the first row like this, you start the next one and you count 13, you know you're good to go, and keep the counts continuous like that. So that's what I would do, is build out all four sides at the same time, and then when you're finished you're gonna have all four sides done at the same time, and then we're gonna fill it in with this miter corner that is done right directly onto the project. So without further ado, let's grab up our project and let's begin to do row number 1 of starting this next section. So let's begin doing this side here, and you have to do the same with all four sides anyway. So let's create a slip knot with your yarn of choice. And remember what I said in the diagram is that there is 3 crochet stitches, double crochet, that are in the corner. You're gonna come to the middle one here, and if you notice that this one ended, this is the first one of the group of 3. So this is where it's gonna end, and you're gonna end in the same spot when we do this one across. So go right into the middle, and let's just insert our hook in like so, and then just pull through, and so that's fastened on with the slip stitch. You're going to chain up a total of 4. This counts as a double crochet and chain 1. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lay down this here on top of the row so that it's gonna get buried. You're going to skip the next stitch, and I know it's hard to see here, and you're gonna go to the second one over. You may have a different color, and you're gonna do a cluster. So how you do it is you wrap the hook and going into the next stitch. Okay, so you skipped one, you went into the second one over, and you pull through and pull through 2 and hold it. Okay, so do it again. So wrap it, same stitch, go in, pull through, and pull through 2 and hold it. You want a total of 4 loops on this hook. So wrap it and into the same one again, pull through and pull through 2 and hold it. You now have your 4. Pull through all 4. That is your cluster. And now we're gonna chain 1, and just what I want you to do, skip the next stitch, go to the second over and do the exact same thing, and you're gonna do that all the way across. So wrap the hook and into the second one over, pull through 2 and hold, wrap the hook, same stitch, pull through 2 and hold, wrap the hook, same stitch, pull through 2 and hold. How many loops are on the hook? 4. So you know you're good to go. So pull through all 4. So chain 1, skip the next one, and cluster into the next. And I want you to do this all the way across, and I'm gonna meet you on the other side of this, so I'm just gonna get all the way over to here, and we're gonna end on the stitch that is right before the middle one. So we're gonna end right here. So let's begin to do that, and I'll see you over there in just a moment. So I'm now coming all the way across, and I can count that I have 13 clusters all the way. So that I'm not quite done all the way over here. So I've just chained 1, and then you skip 1, and then you just go right into the first one of the 3. So do you see that? There's 1, 2, and 3. It's the first one, and that's where you're gonna double crochet to finish that row off. So that's it. Okay, just like that. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna finish this yarn here. So let's just fasten this off. Of all of the mystery, this one has the most yarn tails at the end of this mystery that you can just get rid of. Again, if you just take care of it as you go and weave things in as you go, it's not a big deal for the end. So what I'm just doing is that I'm just weaving them into the top layer of the stitch work, and then when I come back to do this, it's going to be grabbing on with the next row that is above it, so you can be safely assured that it's never gonna fall out on you. So let's turn our work and let's grab our next color, and we're going to then move up and do row number 2. So turning our work, we're just going to turn it upside down here. So now we're working on the back side, so the wrong side. So now that my work is turned over, and this is where I finished off in the last one, so I'm just turning, we're going to start row number 2. So using this, create a slip knot, and just for extra security, and we're gonna go into the very top of the first double crochet here on the corner that we had coming up. So we're gonna go there first, and we're just gonna pull through and attach it as a slip stitch. Okay, got it. And I'm gonna lay down this straggler down on top of the line so I can bury that in as I go too. So we're going to chain a total of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and that counts as a double crochet. And the first cluster is gonna be in between here. So this is a crochet or double crochet, this is a cluster, and you're gonna cluster right into the space itself, so you don't have to worry about counting chains or anything like that. You just have to go into the space just like you see it, and we're clustering like I've shown you before, and then you pull through everything and then chain 1, and then you're going to jump to the next space in between the next 2 clusters, and you're going to cluster again. So you're gonna do that all the way across, and why don't you do that and then meet me at the end of this row, and I'll show you how to finish this row, and then we're gonna bring back our blue once again. So make sure you chain 1 in between each of the clusters. So I'm coming up to close to the end. There's a total of 13 clusters, and so far there should be 14. There needs to be a cluster in between the last chain that you had here in the first cluster. So I've already done a chain 1 after that, and now it's the final cluster in. So we're just gonna cluster right into that space. And then you don't chain 1 after this cluster, you just immediately just count up to the 3rd chain. So 1, 2, and 3, and double cluster there, sorry, a double crochet there, and then that's it. So you're gonna fasten off this white or whatever color you're using, and then you're gonna bury that loose end in, and then we're gonna turn our work and then start on this one here again on the other side, and then we're going to then bring back blue for the final time, and we have 2 rows to do with blue. So I'll be right back. So I've already turned my project, and this is where I finished the white, and I have it already woven in already, and we're gonna bring back the blue once again. We're gonna do a slip stitch then to the first double crochet that you had. So just go right in there. It's nice yarn that you don't have to necessarily get it perfect in order to get it looking good. So just attach it with a slip stitch and then chain up a total of 4 again, just like you did down here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and lay down this on top of the line as well, and you're going to come, this is a cluster and this is a cluster, you're gonna come right in between here. So it's not like before where we did 1 in between. You just jump over the first cluster and go in between, and we're gonna cluster again, and we're gonna work our way down the whole row with clusters all over again. So you just get it in there, chain 1, and then cluster into the next one. So it's the next space, and you keep doing that all the way down. So I'll see you at the end of this row, and then we're not gonna fasten off, so please don't do that, and then we're gonna turn our work and finalize this section. So I'm on row 3 coming all the way back across. I just gotta chain 1 before I do my final cluster into the space that's in between the last 2 clusters. And then I pull through everything, chain 1, and we want to put in a double crochet right into this turning chain right here. So that balances out. So how many clusters are you supposed to have at the end of this one here? The answer is 13, so it's identical to what you already done below. So I'm just gonna do a quick count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So now we're gonna continue now to move forward and turn our work and continue once again. So I've now turned my work. We're ready for row number 4. So row number 4, we're gonna chain up 1, and we're gonna put a single crochet in the top of the first double crochet, and then we're going to then move up here. So this is a space in between the clusters, so we're gonna put 1 there, and then we put 1 on the top of the cluster, and then 1 in the spaces between the clusters, and then one in the top of the next cluster. Do you get it? It's pretty easy, right? So one in the space between the clusters and then one in the top of the clusters. Meet me at the end of this row. We'll finalize that off together. So as you come up all the way across, I have the top of the cluster here, and don't forget there's a space between the last one here that you have to do a single crochet and then into the third chain up. So just third chain right in, and then that's it. So you're now going to fasten this off and weave in your ends, and you need to do this for all four sides in order to continue, and you're gonna be left with these corner pockets that are left empty, and we're gonna be filling that in, and we're gonna be talking about that. So weave in all your ends before you get to that point, and I would do all four sides like this before doing the miter in order to do, just to kind of keep yourself balanced. And I found once I did the miter for a second time it was a lot faster. So it's one of those things, you treat it like an assembly line, you can really speed yourself up. So just weaving in your ends. Let's move on then to the corner, and we'll talk about that next. So we're back to the diagram now, and you're gonna have all four sides grown out, and you're gonna be left with these empty spots here in the outside, and we're going to fill that in with the miter. So what we're going to do with the right side facing up, so the good side facing up, so look for the surface crochet in clues number 1 and 2, and you'll see that it's out there. You'll see it's on the top, and you're going to join here, and we have to equally space 9 single crochets along this side here, and we'll cover that. One will be into the same spot as where you started the one, so one right into there, and then 9 up the other side, just like this. So we're gonna be using the blue for that, and then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna do 3 single crochet together as we come back, and then we come back to the other side, and then we're gonna drop this color and then make 2 passes with white, and then we're gonna drop that color and 2 passes with blue, and then white, and then blue again as we go. So I'm gonna show you that on the example so that you understand what you're getting yourself into. So here's what it's gonna look like. We have the whole pocket is missing, so it'll pretend this is not here. So we're gonna pick it up and we're gonna collect 9 stitches here. We're just gonna single crochet in the 9 spaces. We're gonna get the 1 right in the corner and then go up 9, and then we're gonna come back with the blue. So you'll notice on the one side is that the yarn is traveling up. Okay, so the white will travel as well as the blue, and therefore you don't end up with any cut strings. And then when we come around then for the final time as we go all the way around, you are going to be able to get that and trap that under the stitches so that you'll never see it. So that's one thing that's really kind of cool. So you're gonna go back and forth with blue, and then just drop it back and forth with white, drop it back and forth with blue, and drop it, and etc. We drop the white after this and get rid of it, and then just finish it off with the blue. So let's show you how to do this next. It's really not that hard. So let's begin. We're gonna create a slip knot, and we're gonna fill in this right here as we see. So you're gonna have 4 sides to do that. I've already done 2 of the 4 just to make sure I understood the pattern. And you're going to attach it to the very corner of the one side here. So this is the right side. The surface overlay is facing up. I can see it. So you can attach, and then you're just gonna pull through with a slip. It's a slip knot, pull through, chain 1, and single crochet into the same one that you did. So that's gonna be 1 of 9. What I want you to do to eliminate ends, just lay this down on top and go right up over top of it. So what I have to do is I have to equally space 9 by the time I get to the center here. So just moving down, make sure don't go right into a space. Always go into a section of where the yarn is at least 2 strands is grabbing on. So you're just gonna single crochet. So this is 2, and then I'm gonna come again. This is 3. The next one is 4. Next one is 5. And so I'm at 5 out of 9, right? And look where I am on it. I'm just gonna show you in a second. So I'm almost halfway there. So I'm on number 5 right now. So I have 4 more to squeeze in there. So just use that as kind of a reference point. So this is 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. Okay, so once you get your 9 in, is that the next one is going to be one by itself, and it's going to be where the other one is already attaching into this first section, and you're going to go right in and share that stitch with that one. So this is just one by itself. Now we're going to move up the other side, and we're going to squeeze in 9 on this side. So it's important that you get your counts right. So we're going to have 1 and 2 and this 3, if I can get my stitch in there, 3, Always trying to get in there. So this is 4, so this is 5, this is 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this is my third time doing this, so I was more careful with stretching it out than I was the very first time, so that might take you a little bit of practice. We're now going to turn our work and do row number 2 of using the same yarn. So don't fasten off, and we're just going to turn. I'll just keep it on with you. So if there was 9 in a row last time, this time there will only be 8. So let's just chain up 1, and we're going to do the first 8. So 1, and we're just single crocheting. We're going to do 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're only doing 8, and now the next 3 are going to become together. So how you do that is you go into the next stitch, just insert the hook, pull through and hold it onto the hook, go into your next stitch, which is the middle one of that one that was sitting by itself, and pull through, and then go to the next one and then pull through. So you end up with 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4, and those 3 stitches just became 1. So you're now going to move up the other side and count it out just for the fun of it. So we're going to have 8. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But do not finish 8. We're going to change the color. So we're just going to drop that blue and bring back our other color. So just start it with a slip knot, and you're going to finish that one with the other color so it's ready to go in the next row. So we're gonna start row number 3, and let's begin to do that. So you're just gonna turn your work, and the straggler of that white, lay it down on top of the line. Let the blue just sit off to its side by itself. You don't need to worry about it. Chain up 1, and this time instead of 8 in a row by itself, you are only going to do 7. So starting in the first one, so let's count out those together. So 1, leaving that straggler down on the top, will get lost. Well, 2, 3, that's 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now the next 3 are going to become together. So add those 3 together. So into the next one, pull through, next one, pull through, next one, pull through. You got 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4. Okay, and now it's going to be 7 up the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. See that? So let's turn our work and let's do the other side. So chain up 1, and now there's only going to be 6 in a row this time. So you're eliminating out stitches, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now the next 3 are going to become together. So in, pull through, in, pull through, in, pull through. 4 loops again on the hook, pull through those, and now the 6 are going to come up the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so you don't finish the 6. Let this white just drop, and what we're going to do is that we want to bring back that blue. So just let it just be firm, but not forcing the project. Just bring up the blue and finish it with the blue like I just showed you. So it's snug, but it's not crazy tight. And let's turn our work and begin. So let that white drop out of the way. So we're gonna chain up 1 using the blue now, and we're going to then do 5 in a row. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the next 3 are going to be coming together. So in, through, in, next one, through, in, next one. So then you got 4 on the hook again, pull through all of them, and then we're going to do 5 up the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so let's turn our work and do the next row. So we've just turned our work. We're gonna chain up 1, and this time it's gonna be 4 in a row. So just continue to go. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the next 3 are together, and then we come up the other side for 4 in a row. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you cannot finish the 4th, so just grabbing your white back up, just pull it up and finish it. Okay, and drop that blue. Let's turn our work and let's do the next one. So here's the white back again. So chain up 1, 3 is gonna be in this time, so number 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and then the next 3 are together. And then 3 up the other side. So 1, 2, and 3. We're getting quicker and turning it the other way. So 1, so this time it's only 2. So 1 and 2. Okay, and the next 3 are together. And then the next 2 are together, or the next 2 are by itself. 1 and 2. And now you're done officially with the white. So just let the white drop, bring up the blue, but before you continue, you might as well get rid of this white off now. So just leave it a little bit of an extra long tail and cut that. So as you begin this one here, you're going to just let the white just stay on top of the work and get it trapped in. So chain up 1, and this time it's going to be 1 in a row. So just 1, and then the next 3 are together. So just going right up over top of that loose end, and you can trap it underneath. So bring them all together, and then there's just 1 left on the other side. And then the final row, just turn it, is chain up 1, and all 3 are gonna be coming together. And then that's how you finish that whole section. That's a miter. See how it goes? So you just leave it extra long tail at this point, and you're gonna weave everything that you had done in, and these ones that you carried up, you're gonna bury those later, and then you won't need to worry about it. So weave in all your tails, and then do all 4 sides like this, and I'll meet you back here and we'll do the final border for this whole square at this point. So now that you have all 4 sides done, assuming that you got it done, you can now move on to the final border for this clue today. So this is week number 3, finishing it up. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna start off here in the corner, and we're gonna do a chain 3, and then you're gonna put in 3 more double crochets right into the corner. And then it says that we need to squeeze in 9 double crochets are right into the side of the miter only. So let's just look at it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's an interesting instruction. So you have 9 here. Then it says to tell you to evenly space 32 double crochets between here and where the next miter appears, and there's actually 32 here. You'll notice that it's just, you just have to eye it up. Okay, so just go like almost 3/4 of the way, and then just not 3/4, 1/3 of the way, and then just put in an extra double crochet. Just do a little bit more, put in an extra double crochet, and then so on. And you have to have a total count of 32 here. And then the next miter here, you're gonna have a total of 9 squeezing in, and then the corner once again putting into the 3. So it's just a matter of using your creativity and just eyeing it up if you want to, and you can be strategic about it as well. So what you could do is that it doesn't say to do this, but you could actually, once you get the miter done, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can put 9 here, and then the next one, which is your 10th, is the 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can do 7 there, and the next one, the 8th, is the double, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can do 6, and then the next one is the 7th, which is the double, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that will give you your total of 32. Again, that's just a matter of eyeing it up and making sure that it works for you. So let's begin on the corner of one of the miters. So we're now looking at the right side of the project, and that's the side that is having the surface overlay here in the front. You'll see that here, and we're gonna start off in the corner, and we're using this white once again, and we're gonna create a slip knot to begin, and we're going to go right into a corner. Okay, so do that, and then we're just gonna attach it with the slip stitch and then chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and into the same one you just attached it to, just cover over top of this loose end here, and then just put in 2 more double crochets. Okay, we have to squeeze in 9 double crochets between the section here and where the beginning of the project begins. So just going along the edge, let's count those out and just space them equally. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's 5. And that's 6, 7, 8 and 9. So you have the 9 in there, and now we have to get our 32 in there. So you remember what we were gonna do? Remember we were gonna do 9 in a row. So let's just do that. So we're now in the main section. So 1, just going right in the stitch work, 2, 3, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and then we determined that the 10th is gonna have 2 in there. So the 10th one we're gonna put 2 double crochets into the same one, and then we're gonna continue to move along. So the next 7 are gonna be by themselves, so just double crochet 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then the next 2 are into the same one, or sorry, the next 2 double crochets are in the same one, and then the next one is 6 in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then the next 2 are gonna be, the next one is gonna be 2 of them in a row, 1 and 2 into the same one, and then the final one is the final 4 before you get to the edge. So we're gonna do that. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and if you're pretty close to it, and if you're pretty close like I am right now, you can fake it or make it, right? So now there's got to be 9 in between this and the corner. So let's just kind of stretch those out. So let's go 1 and 2. So we got 3. Now you're gonna go right up over top of these tails that are the holding. So that was 3. So go right up over top of them, get them underneath. So that was 4. This is 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and then you're in a corner again. So you're gonna repeat what you just did all the way across. So in the corners, if you remember, it'll always be 3 double crochets into the same one. So 1, 2 and 3. So what I want you to do is you can reverse this video if you need the help again, and then just continue to go around then doing exactly what you just did on this side, but now do it on all 4 sides, and I'll see you at the end of this revolution. Okay, when you get all the way back around, you're gonna end up here, and I have my 9, which is the last one to go into. So it's the 9th on this side of the miter, and remember the way that we started here with the 3 into the corner. So all I just need to do then is just slip stitch it to the top of the first chain 3, and then that brings that to a conclusion. I'm gonna fasten that off, weave in my ends, and that's it for today's clue. This is clue number 3. Okay, Was that not cool, or was that not cool? Pretty cool, right? I know, even Fonzie cool. It's awesome. I love this particular part of this blanket. It's going to set off the whole flavor for the whole thing in the weeks to come. So you're now at the halfway point. You're going to join me back here same time next week as we continue our mystery. Don't forget, if you're posting any of your work in progress, please use our hashtags of Handmade with Joanne as well as the Crochet Crowd. Come on over to our Facebook events page. Show us what you're up to. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer those as well. So we'll see you again next week as we continue. So get your homework done, and we'll be back real soon. See ya.